Okay, we're recording. All right. Thank you everyone for being here, for the current students and the alum who I've never met in person. I am Jessica Jackson. It's great to meet you, and I'm so appreciative that everyone is taking the time to be together tonight. I know you got like the NFL draft going on, and real sports for the first time in a long time. I can understand that there are exciting things to be doing other than this right now, but I'm really glad that you're here. I really, really appreciate the alum being here too and sharing their wisdom. So I am going to give the alum a couple minutes to each introduce themselves, and then after that we'll have the current students just introduce themselves and what year they are at Milken. So for the alum, I would love for each of you to speak about what year you graduated Milken, and what year you are at Miami, or when you graduated, if you've graduated. And then I would also love for you to kind of speak to what you majored in or are majoring in. And the third thing would be what kind of led you to choose Miami? Like, how did it get on your radar? How did you end up choosing it? And if that is too much to remember for one introduction, I can definitely remind you. So whoever wants to go first with the alum, I'll just let you guys kind of take the mic.
I can get started. My name is Ethan. I graduated Milken in 2016, and I'm graduating in Miami in probably 3 weeks or so. I'm a senior. I'm majoring in real estate and finance, and the reason why I chose Miami was, firstly, I wanted a school that was, a Big Ten school, big football team, basketball. The weather is beautiful in Miami, as similar as it is to LA, maybe a little warmer. I wanted a really nice social environment. I wanted to join Greek life. I wanted to party. I wanted to meet a lot of new people on the East Coast, because a lot of people from California and especially LA, it's fairly uncommon to go to the University of Miami. So it was a very different atmosphere, and it was really nice going somewhere new and meeting people from all around the world.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay, I can go next. I'm Kayla. I graduated Milken 2016, same as Ethan. And I just graduated Miami December 2019, so just a few months ago. So I kind of got a little lucky, I would think. But I double majored in the School of Communication in PR and Media Management with a minor in marketing. And the reason why I pushed myself to go to Miami, I did early decision for it, was I loved LA. I've grown up here, but I found myself wanting to explore something completely different and kind of see another environment, a different type of community. And Miami, like Ethan said, Miami does have a lot of similarities to LA, so that was a plus. And then also my older siblings also graduated from Miami as well, so we had that familial connection. I was familiar with the school, and so it kind of made sense that I wanted something similar to LA, but also felt close to home in a certain sense too. So that's why I was pushed to go to Miami.
Awesome.
I can go next. Hi, I'm Lauren Tarzana. I graduated Milken in 2017, and I'm a junior now at University of Miami. I'm studying I'm in the School of Communication, majoring in PR with a minor in interactive media. And what led me to University of Miami is very similar to Ethan and Kayla as well. A school with a good communication program and a city to explore. Miami definitely is a great city to be in as a young adult. Greek life, a football team, spirit, small enough classes that I could get to know people on a personal level, as well as not just the students in my class, but also my professors, and see people I knew on campus like every day. It's a big enough school where you meet people all the time, but also there's a lot of familiar faces around campus all the time. diversity on the campus also was really important to me. Growing up in LA, I felt like, and going to Milken, a lot of it was the same. And I feel like in Miami, it was a very, very different, and I'm thankful for that.
Love it. Great.
Hi, I'm Tiana. I graduated Milken in 2017, and I am a current junior at Miami. And I'm majoring in interactive media with a minor in media management at the School of Communication as well. So the reasons that I decided to choose Miami, again, very similar to what everyone has said in the past, but definitely a lot of factors such as the size of the school is perfect. You know, it's not too big, not too small. The campus is absolutely beautiful. I love just being on campus and walking around. Miami is a really awesome city to be in. Even if you're not on campus, there's so much to do around, and it's just like a really fun place to be. But I'd say, oh, and also the diversity of the school is really important. There's just so many people from all over, not even just the country, the world as well, which is really cool to me. But the most important reason that I chose Miami specifically was because the programs, at least for us in the School of Communication, and I'm sure across other colleges within the school as well, are super, super specific. Like when I tell people I'm studying interactive media, they really have no idea what it means, but they're just learning so many really interesting things and like a lot of tangible skills that I'll be able to carry on into my future as well.
How would you, if you made a pitch for interactive media, how would you wrap it up, like your elevator pitch of what the major's all about?
Right. So it's basically working with the creative side of technology. So I'm doing a lot of design courses for various types of things like web design, graphic design, user experience design, design for artificial intelligence, as well as some programming classes as well. So you kind of get both sides of things.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to give the current students a sec to just unmic themselves and introduce who they are, what year they are at Milken, and what kind of led them to this chat tonight. I know some of you have been like going to chats every single evening, and that's great. And maybe it's just a general, like, I just want to like learn, and that's totally fine. You can share as much or as little as you'd like, but I just love for everyone to at least get a set, be able to introduce yourself, even if your camera's not on, just we'll hear a shout out from you. So whoever wants to go first, feel free to unmic yourself and give us a sense of who you are.
I'm Cooper. I'm a junior, and I've been in meetings, but I think that Miami sort of has a similar like feel to LA, and like a lot of people said, so that's something that interests me.
Great.
Sorry. You go. Okay, hi, I'm Madison. I'm a junior at Milken, and I just wanted to hear what everyone has to say about Miami. My brother goes there, so.
Yeah, she knows a lot about it.
Love it.
Hi, I'm Elijah, and I came to this chat because I'm really interested in the music school at Frost, or I think, yeah, Frost is what it's called. And also, Ethan, you said something about how you're majoring in like real estate and finance. Mm-hmm. And is there a way that I could be in Frost and minor, possibly in real estate or something like that?
Yeah, you can. You can do a minor in the business school.
Nice. Thanks.
Yeah, of course. I also have a friend who's in Frost, so if you're super interested, I can definitely connect you guys and make an introduction.
Yeah, I would like that a lot. Thank you.
Of course.
My name's Ethan. I'm a senior at Milken. I'm right now deciding between Miami and one other school, so I'm just here to hear other people's perspectives, but besides my sister's.
Exciting time.
Yeah.
I'm Liana. I'm a junior, and I'm just here to hear more about Miami, and I'm also going to the other chats just to hear more about what schools are like.
Great.
I'm Mikey. I'm also here to hear about Miami. I've also been going to a lot of the other chats to hear about how schools are, and I'm in 11th grade.
Hi, I'm Ethan, and I'm in 11th grade, and I'm here, I'm interested in Miami because of, the city and the big sports program, as well as it seems like a good college academically.
Hi, I'm Sabrina. I'm a junior. I'm here to learn about Miami. I don't really know anything about it. I wanted to get a feel for a different type of East Coast school.
Hi, I'm Daniel, and I kind of want to. Miami seems cool because it's like LA, And also, Tiana, can you elaborate on the artificial intelligence you were talking about? It sounded kind of cool.
Yeah, sure. So again, like I mentioned, for my major specifically, it focuses a lot more on the design of things rather than the actual programming, even though I do take some programming classes. So like in my artificial intelligence class, we were able to learn about design principles and ethics within artificial intelligence and a little bit of programming. But if you're more interested in like the heavy duty back end side of things, then I would suggest to go like more, yeah, engineering or like computer science.
Right. All right, cool. Thank you.
Sure.
Great. Did everyone get a chance to say hi? I think so. It's hard without. Oh, there we go. Kevin. Yeah, thanks.
Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm a junior. I was interested in Miami because I saw they have a lot of options in math and engineering, which is what I'm looking for. And I saw that they have an amazing campus and it's a cool out-of-state option. So I wanted to see what else they had to offer.
Okay. Great. So since there's so many current Milken students, and I feel like some of you have already been really eager to ask questions, I want to make sure that there's tons of time for you guys to ask your questions. I think, I have my own to ask too, if no one wants to speak up. So I guess I'll just start things off with one general question, and then we can hand it over to the current students to ask what's on their mind. So I guess I would just first love each of the Milken alum to speak about, like, if you had to choose your favorite thing about Miami, what would that be? And that maybe, has to be top 2 or 3 favorite things. But I would love for everyone to kind of highlight just what's been the highlight for them.
Yeah, I can go first. Definitely the campus. It's beautiful. It's green, very sustainable. The weather is beautiful. People are nowadays, it's really nice. People can commute via Bird at this school, and it's so close to everything too. So I really like how freshman year I lived on campus. Sophomore year I lived in a sophomore apartment complex called Red Road, which is pretty much like 10 minutes away. Everything is super close. There's a shuttle that's just a 5-7 minute walk from the apartment complex. Junior year, I lived in the fraternity house, which is right next to the shuttles, takes you directly to campus. And then senior year, I lived in a house just a couple miles away. So everything's extremely close, which I like a lot. And you don't have to worry too much about transportation at the university, which is great. As well as, getting the opportunity of going abroad. It was probably the best semester of my life, to be honest. I went to Barcelona with my friends from Milken, actually, 4 of them, and we all lived together. So I really like the flexibility that the University of Miami allows. So I'd probably say the weather, the beautiful campus, as well as the flexibility and the tools and resources that the school provides. They have a lot of speakers on campus who have been previous CEOs or current CEOs of major Fortune 500 companies. So it's a great opportunity to tap into that network.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. Similar to what Ethan said, I think campus is if you guys can just Google it, like absolutely stunning, and it's incredibly central, which I think Ethan touched on. I didn't have a car all my years in Miami, but it was never an issue. You could walk anywhere. Everything is quite central. A lot of people tend to think that the campus is really close to the beach. It's kind of the same going to Malibu. It's more, I would like to say it's more like Brentwood, very residential, but it's still very, very central to everything and similar to what Ethan has talked about. Another thing is Lauren and Tiana talked about the School of Communication. That was a huge push for me to go as well. My professors were all incredibly involved in the field that I am now working in. One was the VP for NBC Universal. They're all very well connected, and they all because they're all smaller class sizes, they all really take to their students and really want their students to perform and help them to become colleagues and coworkers outside of school. So I really appreciate it, and I think that's a benefit of having smaller class sizes with them, is that they do take time to create a relationship with all their students and help them be the best that they can be. I know Lauren I'm sure Ethan too, but I know Lauren and Tiana can speak on that as well. And also for me, I think Greek life was really great for me. Obviously, it's not for everybody, and I hope that everyone just tries it, even though it's not their thing. You could always drop at any point. But for me, who I came to Miami, which is far away, you don't really know that many people. I only really knew Ethan going in. It was really important for me to get myself out there and kind of find a home base and find people that were similar to me, like an opportunity to have some people that I connected with. And so it worked out really great for me. It was a really great opportunity. And from there, you can meet and other people and really get yourself out there, because it is challenging to come all the way from a community in LA to jump into a new community. So yeah.
And Kayla, real quick, I feel like you said you graduated in December, right?
Yeah, just this December.
Okay, congrats. And then you moved straight back to LA? Is that okay? I didn't know where you were like currently living. Do you have, and I don't want this to be, I hope this isn't a sensitive question. I know it's like, it can be a stressful time. Do you have a sense of like what's to come after Miami for you right now?
Yeah, I'm currently working at a PR agency that focuses on hospitality and restaurants. Obviously right now they're not struggling, but it's kind of slow. But yeah, I came in because I graduated early, it was really important for me to kind of have it set up to be here. And I had a lot of help from my professors to do that. The person who gave me the job was a professor at Miami. He's the one who connected me with the people to work at this agency now. And so I tried my best to get it to that point, and thankfully it worked out the best it could have.
Awesome. That sounds great. Okay, cool. I realized that I hadn't asked about that earlier, and I meant to. All right, who wants to go next?
I can go next. I would say a highlight for me for Miami is definitely the campus as well. It's beautiful when it's not monsooning or hurricane season. It's sunny, and every Wednesday we have a farmer's market. Like, you can sit by the lake. We have a beautiful lake with like outdoor seating, which is like my favorite place to sit on campus just to get some work done and like see people passing by, people watch. Also what Kayla said, just the small classes really are helpful for me, especially. It feels a lot more personal when the process of getting my degree has felt a lot more personal because the classes are smaller and the professors are very hands-on, and you create relationships with them where you wouldn't be able to do that in a class of 300 students unless you really like tried and pushed yourself. I've definitely felt that I've had professors who've challenged me, which is great because, we all need a little push every once in a while. And the city of Miami has a huge fee, so all the restaurants and have been so great. The beach is a total plus. Like, you can definitely go to the beach. It's a 20-minute, 30-minute drive, so it's a really fun place to be. I would also say that Miami has a lot of clubs and organizations on their campus that are really helpful, especially for like communication students. They have Orange Umbrella, which Tiana's a part of, and she could probably tell you about, which is like a student-run agency that's part of the communication school. And we have like an award-winning magazine called Distraction Magazine, which is something I'm part of. And it has really helped me like with my major and like meeting new people on campus. Also Greek life. I was a spring admit to Miami, so I came January 2018, which is in the middle of my freshman year. And that was hard because the only person I knew was Tiana coming into Miami. And everyone had a semester ahead of me and got to formulate friends and get adjusted. And I didn't really think I would be involved in Greek life, but I decided to try it. And I'm in a sorority now, and it was so great, like coming to Miami in my first week of school, like being in a sorority and like meeting new people instantly. It made the adjustment and transition a lot easier for me. And it's definitely been a great way that I make friends and connect and all that.
So for me, I definitely completely agree with everything everyone has said so far. Like campus is great. There's just so many things to do around the city. But kind of touching upon like what Lauren had mentioned a little, I think a really great thing about the university that like I have taken advantage of a lot is all the different programs and opportunities outside of the classroom that are available to students that really just can help progress your career even. Like Lauren had mentioned, I'm part of a student-run consultancy called Orange Umbrella, which I basically everyone basically works with different clients. We get hired to do different things. So I'm a web designer. So I've been making through, which is, it's also a class too, technically. So basically through this class, I've been working directly with clients and like getting experience in the field, designing websites for professional people, which has been a really awesome opportunity. Like Lauren had mentioned also, I'm a part of Distraction as well, which is a great magazine to be a part of. And it's really cool to work with such talented people and do different things. Additionally, for the people who are interested in engineering, I'm also a part of a group called Magic Leap, which is basically a company that creates augmented reality goggles and headsets. And the CEO is an alumni of Miami, so we partner directly with Magic Leap to create projects with the headsets, and we basically just get paid to like make cool projects on these awesome augmented reality headsets. So that's a cool opportunity that I've been able to be a part of. And there's just so many things to do regardless of what your interests are. Again, it's such a diverse campus with so many different like people who have different interests. So regardless of what you're interested in, you're bound to find something that's going to be beneficial to you outside of the classroom as well.
All right, great. Okay, so I think at this point, I'd love to make sure that current students are getting their questions answered too. If there's like total dead silence, I have more questions to ask, but I want to give you the floor if you do have burning questions. I can't see your faces, but by all means, feel free to use the hand raising tool or just like unmic yourself and feel free to speak up. So the floor is yours, current students, in terms of any questions you have.
I have a question. So you guys have talked about the classes being smaller. Is that for all the classes or just specific courses? And if so, like what's the average size per class?
So it obviously depends on the classes that you're taking. Like I'm sure, like for example, I'm speaking for the communication school. It is a smaller school than say the business school or the science college. However, just a general rule of thumb, your beginning classes, your general classes that you take as a freshman will be a little bit bigger, and the higher the class level is, the smaller and smaller it will become. But I think Ethan, you can go for like the business school, but in my experience, the largest class size I've had was about 30, and by like my senior year, I was in a class of 10.
Okay, yeah, so for me, in the business school, I think over 90% of my classes were probably under 30, 35 people. And just a couple classes had, I think, about 100, but not that common at all. Most of them are super small, and I'm pretty friendly, and I know almost everyone's names in all my classes, which is great. So it kind of reminded me of Milken in that sense, where I knew everyone, as well as the teachers, and I created personal relationships with my teachers.
Okay.
Yeah, like Kayla had mentioned, it's definitely, she's right, like how your lower division classes will have a lot more people, and your upper divs will have a lot less people, especially like in the communication school. We don't, like the class sizes are pretty small, but other classes I've taken outside of the comm school, like I took a class in the computer science department, like just the intro class, and that was like 120 people. But also it was really cool because the professor had gone out of his way to memorize every person's name still. So that just goes to show you that like even though in the big classes there are still big classes, oftentimes like the professors can still be really personable and willing to help you regardless of the size.
Any other questions from?
I was just wondering about like internship opportunities and like career services and what your experience was with that as you like got closer to exiting school.
Yeah, so Miami has a platform called Handshake. Essentially, since it's already intertwined with the University of Miami system, it already has your GPA in it, and then all you got to do is add in your resume, and pretty much it's kind of like the Common App if you think about it like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can basically apply to all these jobs with just one click, and then you either hear back or don't hear back from that company. So you can basically just do that one click to 100 companies, and you'll hear back from a handful, which is great. And then you can just start talking. Also, the business school has a group called AK Psi, which is Alpha Kappa Psi. It's basically a business fraternity in which there's a big network of people who are super interested in the business community and want to get those types of jobs, whether it's Wall Street jobs or accounting jobs or whatever in the whole sector of business and finance. So they can basically connect you with a bunch of different companies, which is great. So you get to tap into that network, as well as my professors too, since they all know me on a personal level and I go to them. They can connect you with anyone, which is fantastic.
Yeah, going off of that, like I mentioned before, I got the job that I got because of a professor. And the nice thing is that a lot of Miami's professors, if not most, are adjunct professors, which is that teaching a classroom is not their day job. They have a day job, and this is just something they do because they want to, and they want to teach college students. So a lot of them are a part of the field, are a part of what they're teaching, and it's not like they're lecturing on something they were a part of like 20 years ago. They're in it, they're in real time what you want to study. And based on the relationship you create with them, being an involved student, being somebody who is connected to the class, then it's a great way to kind of learn more and then see like the steps to go ahead for after college as well.
Yeah, there's also a career center at the university that can be really helpful sometimes. They have students who work there that help with resume building, LinkedIn profiles. There's also on Handshake as well, there's a section of it aside from the job postings that lists all the different speakers from different companies that are coming to talk, and those talks will happen at the Career Center. Again, like what Kayla has said, I'd just like to reiterate, like making connections with your professors is very, very useful. Like a lot of them are really working in their field, and personally, like I haven't found any jobs through the Career Center, but I have definitely found a lot of opportunities through speaking with professors that I built close connections with, or even at the university as well. Like for example, I saw a job posting for an internship at Hillel, so like I did that for a little bit, and again, like I found an internship magically through my university. So there's definitely some things at the university as well that you'd be able to be a part of as like internship experience.
Also, just to jump in, sorry, it's like funny, I like to tell people this, is my freshman year for one of my classes, part of my final grade was to create a full functioning LinkedIn with X as many connections, X as many, like my bio, my resume. They really, really, really want you to be set up for that, so then you don't have to think about it. So while I was, my freshman year, had a LinkedIn, was comfortable using it, was comfortable making connections and really using it to its extent, I had friends from other schools or different walks of life who they're graduating now and they're just figuring out how to use it. So going off what everybody's been saying, they're really quick on preparing you to work in the field.
Yeah, in the business school too, there's a mandatory business course called Business 101. That was actually one of the big lecture classes, the 1 out of 2 that I had. And it was really helpful because, like what Kayla said, they help you build your LinkedIn. That's a requirement, as well as give you a resume template too, which is super important. And you get feedback from your professor as well as other people on your entire resume too. So they try to get you into that your freshman year. So when you're done with freshman year, you can already start looking for internships.
And to add to that, as everyone has said, like relationship with your professors are really like key to getting internships. Like in my courses, I'll have my professors email me like internships that are remote or near around Miami, like saying these are available opportunities, you should apply. Another way is at the communication school, there's a class that's an internship class, which you can get credit for. And basically you just sign up for it, and the head professor of the class will share a list of internship opportunities, either again remote or local in Miami, and you can just sign up to do that, and you have an internship for the semester, and you have to write like a few papers, but you get academic credit and experience, which is a total plus. And there's also for the communication school, there's PRSSA, which is Public Relations Student Society of America. It's something that I've been a part of since my freshman year, and basically it's just an organization all around the country, and Miami has a chapter of it. Each month we go and visit a different PR agency or the public relations team of like Burger King. We went to Burger King headquarters, or the Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat, and we get to talk to their PR team or their communications team and physically give our resume to them, which is like a great feeling, and connect with the people we spoke to that day on LinkedIn or thank them through email. So there's a lot of opportunities at Miami for internships and career.
Thank you.
Any other questions? That was really helpful, learning all of it sounds like the professional mindset is like one with the students at Miami. So that is a theme that I figured existed, but it's nice to hear a little bit more about it in depth. Any other students or any other questions from the current students?
Yeah, can you guys talk about like the Jewish life a little bit?
Yeah. So we all go to Chabad, usually on Fridays, which is great. The rabbi's really cool. He's always on campus. You say hi to him on campus. But every Friday at his house, it's only 5 minutes away from campus, maybe even less, super close. Basically, it's like home. They make home cooked food. There are a bunch of people there, probably like 40, 50 people there almost on every Friday, maybe like 70 on a big night. Really yummy food. It's a really nice community. They have wine. And it basically feels like home because you're in that Jewish community, and that rabbi is always helping you out with anything you want to. You can go earlier for services at his house, and then you have dinner after. So I really like the community. It makes me feel like home, and I think that's super important.
Yeah, it's 100%. There's two strong organizations. There's Chabad and Hillel. I always took more to Chabad because, like I said, my siblings also went to Miami, and they had a relationship with the rabbi and his wife, and so I kind of continued that. So I can't speak on Hillel, but for Chabad, it is the rabbi's and his family's house that you go to, and it's an intimate gathering because it's in a home and it's all home cooked food, and so it's nice to have that kind of like home feeling when you're so far away. And it's fun because the people there, it's a very similar mindset. I'll never forget freshman year, me and Ethan we would find people on his floor, my floor, that were also Jewish who also wanted to come. And it kind of just became a group that every Friday night we would go. And those people I'm still friends with, like from freshman year to senior year. We've all kind of continued that trait. It was always a thing every Friday or every high holiday that we were in Miami and weren't home. It was kind of just like an activity for all of us. And it was a friend group and kind of community based that was different to Greek life or school life. It was just like a family life.
I also go to Chabad, and it's really nice because it reminds me of my Shabbat dinners at home. Super loud, home cooked meals, just like a lot of singing, and like it's just loud, and it reminds me of like it's a piece of home when you're far away. And it's nice also going because I think all of the Milken kids also go to Chabad, so seeing a familiar face was also super comforting then. The people you meet, it's really nice. Like freshman year, again, it was just nice to like meet Jewish kids that also wanted to celebrate Shabbat or the high holidays, and like doing that together. I go to Chabad for like Rosh Hashanah and like Yom Kippur. I haven't been for Passover, but I also haven't been I wasn't in Miami this year for Passover. But it's just like super comforting, and the rabbi's family is very supportive, always there. They host like challah baking nights and everything. It's a great like home away from home, especially if you want to like stay in touch with Jewish life while you're away at college.
Yeah, definitely agree with what everyone has said. I also go to Chabad every once in a while, and it's just really nice to have like a community of people that you can connect with. There's also definitely a pretty big Jewish population on campus as well, which is nice to have. You know, I think they just call it like Jew Miami, which is kind of funny. Yeah, it's just nice to have too.
Thank you.
I love that you guys all go every weekend. I've done a couple of these virtual chats for a bunch of different colleges, and I don't know if I've heard from unanimously among the alum, like, yep, this is something we do every Friday.
Yeah, me and Ethan used to recruit a bunch of people to go freshman year.
We tell all our friends to come.
I love that.
Free food, come.
Even our non-Jewish friends, they wanted to come with us too, and they love it too.
That's awesome. And what a way for you guys to like still stay connected among the Milken people, you know, to know that you're always going to have that place to see each other each week. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm curious for you guys, what advice would you give to your freshman year self? Like, knowing what you know now, what advice do you wish that you had entering Miami that you would want to give to the current Milken students?
I'd probably take advantage of more of the resources. I know I briefly mentioned the business fraternity. In hindsight, I probably would have done it because of the network that you get to tap into, as well as the alumni network, which is super important. On top of that, just joining some other organizations, clubs. I heard really good things about Orange Umbrella. So I think it's very important to get more involved at the school and take advantage of all the resources that you're paying for.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I guess to my freshman self, like regarding Miami specifically, like push yourself to just get involved in things. I know it can be a little intimidating when you don't really know anyone and you're sitting in this club meeting, like not really sure what's going on, but definitely push yourself to just step out of your comfort zone and join things early on, because if not, like you're going to be in your last few years or year and think to yourself like, oh, I really wish I had started doing this earlier. So it's good to explore things in the beginning so you know what you like and dislike, and you can focus on something you really enjoy. But just kind of like not necessarily Miami specifically, but also college in general, I guess. I'd say like a really good piece of advice I wish I heard freshman year was to kind of just go in with no expectations. You know, if you're going into college with a expectation of what you think things should be and it doesn't really match that, it can kind of, you know, freak you out a little, or at least it did for me personally. Even though like what I was experiencing was not bad at all, there were some great things going on that I didn't even realize were happening. It's just that I had such a clear perspective as to what I thought I was going to experience, and I didn't. So I'd say just like go in with no expectations and make the most of what you can in the beginning.
I'm curious as well, like you guys just mentioned, wishing you had taken advantage of more from the start. Do you feel like you maybe just weren't feeling like brave or open enough to take advantage, or did you not know where to look for all the different resources?
For me, I think I agree with what everyone has said already. I think for me at least, I was very, very self-conscious and shy in the beginning. I kind of was thrown into like in a completely different environment and was really self-conscious about to get myself out there. And so I think I held back a little bit. But the school always was really good about advertising different opportunities that were available, especially within classes. I always knew what organization was happening, what was like not tryouts, but like to enter, to apply this, to do that, to like walk into a speaker to see this. And I think I just for lack of understanding or just for esteem wise, I didn't want to put myself in that situation. I didn't want to put myself in a group of people that I didn't know. And so I kind of held back on it until I think end of sophomore year, beginning of junior year, when things started to get a little bit serious about career and just kind of strengthening your major and what you really want to do. And it always works out. Like, you put yourself out there, no matter where you're in, you will get to where you need to be. But I think it would have been very helpful to get myself involved from the beginning, because the students who start off freshman year are the ones who are in leadership positions and are really running these organizations and these groups by their junior and senior year. And that's a really, really important learning skill you learn, an asset to have, and then also like a resume builder, something you can talk about. And again, like, it's great being a part of it, but if you really want to work yourself up and become a leader, get into a leadership position, you start from the beginning. You just start to be involved. And I know that sounds kind of like overwhelming and scary, but really just being a part of going to meetings, just seeing what people have to offer. And if you don't like it, you don't have to go again, really. Just seeing what the school has to offer, because you're paying a lot. The school offers a lot, and it's just a matter of you putting yourself out there to take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and knowing like everyone else also probably feels self-conscious too.
Oh, 100%.
No
I
one
was
else
so
knows
scared.
what you're doing.
I didn't even think that everybody else was scared too.
Completely normal to be nervous at the beginning. I was super nervous at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to school when with no one. You know, all I had was Kayla, but I didn't have any guy friends. So I think it's very important to make a lot of friends on your floor freshman year, and in your classes too. So just meet as many people as you can. Get yourself out there. Don't be shy, because if you're shy, it's gonna bite you.
To add to what everyone has said, I think that as Kayla, I was super self-conscious and shy. And that's definitely something, like, looking back on my past 2 years of school, I've realized. But I think that in terms of, like, you know, getting comfortable and, you know, getting a leadership position or something when you're an upperclassman, is to really find, like, your hobbies and your passions that you like to do, and, like, see what your school offers in those, like, fields. Like, mine is, like, writing and, like, magazines and graphic design, and, like, Miami has so many opportunities in that field, and, like, Distraction magazine is, like, something that is, like, now that, like, I'm not, like, super involved in, and I have a position, and it's something that I can, like, put on my resume. Also, just when you go to college,
Lauren,
people come from different backgrounds, different upbringings.
Lauren, I don't know if it's just me,
Can you
but
hear me?
you froze for a sec. What was that?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Just like coming to Miami or in college in general, like, you're kind of thrown into this pool of people, and you realize that everyone grew up in a different way, different upbringings, different background, and keeping an open mind throughout your, like, college and just in general in life is, like, extremely important, because you're gonna face a lot of things with different people that will definitely help you navigate, like, your life as an adult, and just really pushing yourself. And everyone wants to meet people, so, like, yeah, I understand being shy, but, like, the person you probably want to talk to is also shy, so just push yourself to, like, make conversation, grab a cup of coffee. It's just a few words can go a long way.
Yeah, I love that. Great words of wisdom for, like, wherever anyone ends up. Elijah, did you have a question?
Yeah. I was just, like, wondering if any of you could speak to the culture, like, around Miami, like in the city, because you said it's in the center and everything's around it. So I just want to know, like, what's the food like? What's everything? What's the music culture, stuff like that?
I think one of the best things that Miami has to offer is the fact that it's in the major metropolitan city. So there's really no shortage of what you want to do what certain night. If you're not into Greek life, there's a million other things that you can do. If you're into doing like the food scene, there's like the Cuban food scene's amazing. There's a bunch of different cuisines out there and different areas to go to. There's different restaurants, there's different places, there's the beach, there's the main city, there's different like cities around Miami that really have, it's like a different world. There's certain parts you can walk into a certain part of Miami and it's as if you're in a different country, and it's great. And also, Jessica, Ethan wanted me to tell you that Ethan's Wi-Fi cut out.
Oh, no worries. I was like, I guess he's done with us. No worries. If he doesn't make it back on, you can let him know I say thank you.
Yeah, like a lot of people had mentioned before, Miami is a very, very diverse place to be, which I personally love. There's so many different cultures that you can appreciate. Like there's a lot of Cuban culture around, for example, like so much Cuban food, which is amazing everywhere. The food is honestly awesome. You know, like Kayla had mentioned before, the university is not directly in the middle of the city. It's kind of like in a suburb right outside the city. So once you go into the city, there's so much to explore. Like there's downtown, there's South Beach, there's so many different areas that have so much to offer. I will say that like definitely Miami it's known to be like a party city, I'd say. Like if you don't want it, it's fine. You can just let it be off to the side because you are in the suburb. But if you want it, it's super easily accessible. You can go into the city. Like there's so much fun nightlife to be. Even if you're not 21, there's options available for you. A lot of great food, and yeah, I'd say it's just like a really fun place to be.
Great. I want to take at least one more question, maybe two if we have time. I see Ethan Isaac's hand is up, so I'll let him ask.
Yeah, can any of you guys speak to the GE requirements and if you thought they were beneficial to your general like knowledge, or they were more of a burden to your major?
So the GE requirement, it can be a little confusing the way that it's organized at first. Basically, it's called a cognate system for us instead of GEs. So there's 3 different cognates that you need to fulfill classes in. One is STEM, one is arts and humanities, and the other is called people and society. Basically, for your GEs, aside from the ones that are required of your major, you need to fulfill 3 classes within each subject. And if your major falls into, or minor falls into one of the categories, then that like omits you from having to do the GEs in that category. So for example, for me, my major is STEM, so I didn't need to take any STEM GEs, and I just took GEs within the other sections. You know, sometimes they're GEs, like you just have to take things because you have to take things, but because of the way that the cognate system works, you're able to there's so many different options of like cognates within each section, that you can find something that definitely interests you or just something easy that you want to get out of the way. For example, like in when I decided to take an arts and humanities cognate, I found one that was like arts and therapy, which I thought was really cool to learn about. So there are definitely a lot of options for you to choose from, even though it can be a little confusing to understand at first. But you know, like any other university, they're GEs, but they definitely organize it in a way for you to find something that you are interested in.
Yeah, 100%. I did it is really confusing when like your advisor first explains it to you. You don't really know what they're talking about. But my major fell into the people and society cognate, so I just had to take 3 STEM classes and 3 arts and humanities classes. And for me, STEM is not where my brain is at all. I didn't want to take something that I would struggle more in. And so a great thing is that they give you a lot of options as to what to do within those cognates. So I was interested in health and nutrition, so I took that as my STEM. And so throughout my 3.5, 4 years of Miami, I was also taking a lot of like health and nutrition, like fitness classes. And then also for my arts and humanities, I took, I think, gender and media, which was really cool. And believe it or not, they kind of sound like a drag, but if you really embrace them to learn something that's interesting that you want to do, it's really great. And then also if you find first of all, you find your friends in those classes, because everyone it's those hobbies that you don't really focus in to major in, but it's something that you're interested, so you find like-minded people in that sense. And then also you can always, with your roommates or your floor mates or whoever, you can kind of put it together to do those cognates together. So just, I think they call it mini minors that you could choose to minor in them if you really like them towards the end as well.
Yeah, and
go ahead, T.
Sorry. They definitely also expose you to a lot of things, like Kayla said. A lot of people, because the cognate is 3 classes, a minor is typically 5 classes. So a lot of people will take 3 classes in a cognate and see that they enjoy it, and then it turns out into be a minor for them because you just need 2 more classes. So it definitely does expose you to a lot of cool things that you might find interesting. Like my STEM cognate ended up being my major actually, which was really cool.
Yeah, to what like Tiana said, my major falls under people and society, so I would have to take STEM and arts and humanities, but I took a coding class for my STEM cognate and I really liked it, and so I added interactive media as my minor, and so that like took care of my STEM cognate requirements as well. So, and for like my arts and humanities, they offer a study abroad cognate, and where you like take 2 general electives while you're abroad, and like that's your cognate, which is what I did. But I'm not studying abroad anymore, as you can see. I also like, before I found out about the study abroad one, I took like an art class, and I was going to fulfill that as my art major, which was super enjoyable. It was like nice to have a class that was an art class, a break from all my regular like classes.
Great, thanks. I really love how you guys spoke about just like how these Gs can have so many benefits. And I like the idea too about that's where you find your friends, because they're also people that like signed up for this random class and also had this kind of, you know, different interests from their regular major. So that's a really cool perspective. I do have to jump to the next virtual chat in a couple minutes. So I just, to wrap things up real quickly, I'd love for the alum, if you have any like last parting words of wisdom you want to share with the current Milken students, I will give you the mic one last time and then we will head out of here. Anyone have words of wisdom?
If anyone has any other questions, I can give you guys my number and you guys can just text me. Anything you guys want to know, whenever you want. I'm always here.
Okay, I'm wondering what might be the most efficient way to go.
Type it into the chat.
Okay, yeah, cool, that works. And then if people want to jot it down before I end the meeting, thank you for offering.
I have one last question.
Sure.
Just quick. For Kayla, you talked about like the nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Was that like, did it have science involved in that too, or?
Oh yeah, like so the fitness, the health and nutrition was one category, and there was about 10 classes to choose from, and I had to choose 3. One of them, it was sports fitness, so it had to do with athletes' bodies and like injuries and how that worked with athletes, not just like a regular human body. And so a lot of science did come into play. Nothing too, I chose the easier ones because I wasn't about to go into it, but a lot of it was math and science based about how certain muscles act the way that they do, and when you have food, like what the vitamins and what the nutrients in food, how it reacts to your muscles and how it reacts in your body to have like the utmost performance in an athlete. So it was really cute.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Cool.
I'll put in my number.
Okay, we maybe lost Ethan again. I'm also copying and pasting all of these into a draft right now, so I think I got down all the current students, so I can try to email you guys this contact info as well. So if someone has Ethan's to write in here, that'd be helpful too. And I don't think he was able to put it in.
I have a quick question. Can you guys go in undecided and then just like choose like everything out?
Yeah, I think you have to choose by end of your sophomore year. By your junior year, you have to decide on a major. So you have 2 years to pick out what you want to do.
Yeah, what's really surprising about Miami is like it's super flexible in terms of like changing majors or colleges. There's of course schools like you can't do that, like the architecture program and all that, but for the most part, switching majors schools is super simple, and which was really nice because I know when I was deciding colleges, you had to know which school you wanted to go into, and I didn't know yet what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I changed my major 3 times, so don't worry about it. It's like really easy to change. You don't need to make a decision anytime soon. And I will make that also my advice, my last words of wisdom is like, don't stress out in the beginning about what you want to do and what you want to major in. I did not figure that out until second semester, sophomore year, like the end of it too. I jumped around so much, freaking out that I needed to decide something early. You really don't. It's okay. Just go explore everything that you want to try out and do it and see what you like, and then you'll figure it out eventually.
Love it. What a way to wrap up. Thank you. I will send the current students, I think I jotted down all your names of who's here. So tomorrow I'll send you guys an email with the email addresses and phone numbers in case you didn't get it. Thank you to the alum. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to chat with us, and you can let Ethan know I say thanks too. And I will maybe see some of you current Milken students in the USC chat. So I'm going to leave this one and open that one up. And thanks everyone for being here tonight. I really, really appreciate it. So
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.